Joined now by Monica Mendoza, reporter for the Denver Business Journal, has broken a lot of news on the stadium, and Darren Duber-Smith, who is a marketing and advertising professor at Metro State. Thank you guys both for being here. All right, Monica, explain this to me. The Broncos have now stepped in and grabbed these naming rights. Everybody's going to get their hopes up that it's going to stay Mile High, or it'll become Broncos Stadium or Bolin Stadium, likely?
Probably not. I think they were very careful in their statement today to say that they look forward to working with the Metropolitan Football Stadium District to find a naming rights partner. I think they took control of the situation so that they could slow it down, so that they could be in charge of the process. They have been at the whim of the court, at the whim of Sports Authority for the last few months, and it's been nerve-wracking, quite frankly, to the board of the Metropolitan Stadium District and to the Denver Broncos. Phone calls they get all the time wondering what's going to happen.
Sure. There's danger, though, Darren, if they put a name on this stadium, even temporarily, that people fall in love with.
Yes, or if they spend too much time as Mile High Stadium without a naming sponsor, because people are going to get used to that, and then they're going to wonder why the Broncos suddenly need the money 5 years from now to get a long-term 20-year partner. They're probably looking at a 20-year partner. So, yeah, it does matter, and I think that the bottom line is that it has been distracting, and the Broncos felt like they weren't controlling the process. Right. It's a very old deal. Companies aren't interested in 5-year deals. They're interested in 20-year deals, 25-year partnerships when it comes down to these sorts of things. So I think that they really made a really good move overall.
And right now we're asking people to vote on 9news.com/vote now about whether they would be willing to pay more in ticket prices to make up for the revenue of a sponsor and go watch the Broncos play in a Broncos stadium or a Mile High or a Bolin Stadium. But assuming that what we all believe is the case, that they are going to put a corporate name on it, who's in that game?
Company has to be large enough. It doesn't have to be a local company. And remember, we don't have a whole lot of local companies that are based here that are really large enough for this sort of deal. So the company has to be large enough. I'd say at least $400 million a year, $400 million a year, $500 million a year would probably be large enough to be able to handle a $10 million a year payment, plus all of the activation, all of the advertising that's done in addition to the
spending
sponsorship.
on top of that.
So you have to have a company that's large enough, and then you also have to have a company that's operating in an industry that's healthy. An industry that's not cyclical, like oil and gas is very cyclical.
Sure.
So an industry that's growing. The sporting good industry is not doing all that well. So it has to be in a growing industry, a strong company that's able to incur those marketing costs for decades. That's a big commitment for a company to make.
Great insight from Darren Duber-Smith, and of course when we find out the name and the latest developments, we'll read it via Monica Mendoza in the Denver Business Journal. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure.